What's going on, you guys? I have something that I wanted to kind of experiment with. So we buy a lot of gold at my store, and we primarily look to buy gold or platinum jewelry. And you might be wondering what this box is for, but what I did was I had someone else prepare kind of a mystery box for me where they got some of the pieces that we've purchased this past week, and I asked them to do some gold pieces, some random costume pieces, just maybe some things that are interesting, and throw them in this box without me seeing them beforehand. And then we'll go through this box piece by piece and we'll see what we find. I'll tell you a little bit about each piece if there's anything interesting about it. Some of it's going to be complete junk, and other than that, there might be something that's kind of interesting in here. So I'm going to swap out this lens so you can see up close what I'm looking at, and we'll dive right in. All right, I got my super zoom lens on now, so we'll really be able to see everything here. So the first ring I grabbed, this looks like, let's see, we should be able to see some of the hallmark stamps with this lens. So you can see down here, rings usually have their stamps on the inside of the shank. Try to get this in focus, but you can see this is 14 karat gold and has a couple diamonds in it. Some common wear and tear there. You can see the prongs are pretty well worn. Trying to keep this as steady as possible for you. But yeah, so something like this we would buy for the scrap metal. A lot of times the customers want the diamonds returned to them, but for whatever reason this customer just traded them all in, and what we'll do is we'll remove these diamonds and keep them for repair purposes in the future, and then the gold gets sent to a refinery. And you're going to see, it's pretty common that things like this will just get sent away to get melted down, and a lot of people think like, oh no, like that's a beautiful ring, why wouldn't you just keep it and sell it? And we do resell a lot of the pieces that we buy. We resell it as estate jewelry, but something like this, it would probably sit in the case for a couple years before anyone even looks at it, and I don't like how worn out the prongs are, so that's getting sent to the scrapper. Next up, let's see what we got here. Looks like a handful of rings in this box. Here, this will be a little different. This looks like synthetic opals and probably a synthetic bluestone also. So this is a piece of costume jewelry. Probably, yeah, this looks like a necklace where the chain runs through the back side there. But yeah, so this is, I can't see it through the camera, but I see no gold stamp on this, so this is probably just like costume junk basically. So we have a couple containers here of just random stuff that has no metal value to it, and that will end up in there, and that we just keep it for, if someone happens to come in and they need a synthetic opal that's a marquee shape just like one of these, and we might end up having the perfect piece for their situation. So that's what happens with non-gold things. This here, another old men's ring, heavily worn. Looks like you can kind of see some engraving there. Looks like maybe an R at the top left corner and maybe a G down low. But yeah, someone really wore this thing. And little bent shank there. And I think this one came in on a project that I took in sometime like last week, and yeah, this one did not have a stamp on it, but it tested as 14 karat gold, so that one will get melted down also. Let's see here. Oh, this is kind of neat. I know the background of this one. This is a little outhouse charm, and I actually know where this one came from. So like I said, I had someone kind of put this box together for me, but we have like a little tray of like interesting pieces that we've kept over the years from trade-ins, and this is just something like, it's just kind of too neat to send down to the refinery because you don't see charms like this too often. But little outhouse there, and the person who this belonged to actually passed away not too long ago. So yeah, that's kind of the story about this. But yeah, this is 14 karat gold. Kind of neat. Let's see what else. Okay, so this is, let's see if we can open this. Or there we go. This is a watch, very old, and look at the engraving work along the bezel there. You know, that's just craftsmanship that you don't see nowadays. So someone probably did that all by hand, and I'm glad it wasn't me. But look at this then, hand engraved initials on the back. Not sure what they say, but yeah, they take a lot of work. Engraving is definitely a dying artwork, and I apologize if this video is really shaky. We're really zoomed in here, but I'm doing my best. But yeah, this is probably gold. The way we can tell is if we open it, and I might have a tool laying here somewhere. Here, we'll cut here for a second. I'm gonna get this thing open so you can see it. All right, so this is kind of neat. So I just used this knife to pop this open, and I truly had no idea this was the case. And what I'm about to show you, a lot of you are gonna think is pretty neat, but I actually don't know if anyone here even knew this was the case. I'm gonna go show everyone after I show you here, but this came off, and I noticed there's paper in here, and there's obviously the movement of the watch, but look at that. Old picture of, I'm assuming this is a lady's watch, and maybe that's her husband. But yeah, I really had no idea I was gonna find that. So I'm glad I opened this up because it's pretty cool. But when we open these up, we look for, a lot of times the stamp is inside the watch. But yeah, it's really neat. It'd be neat to know who that is. Or like if they had other like family members or something that I could get that to them. But yeah, this is a movement for an old mechanical watch. This one might not work anymore, but you just wind it up. And yeah, not working, but cool nonetheless. But yeah, that was pretty neat. But yeah, this case here has some gold to it. The movement inside does not. Neither does the picture. But if we sent this away to be melted down, we would pull out that movement and then send the gold content off to the refinery. Alright, moving on. Let's see. Looks like a cufflink. So this folds in, that opens up. Synthetic stone, this is just costume. No precious metal, no precious gems. You don't see cufflinks too often, or anymore, I guess you could say. Guys don't really wear them. But yeah, just costume. So no scrap value. It'll just go into the pile of miscellaneous junk. Alright, so this next piece, I'm going to do it next because I'm familiar with it. Look at this. So this is solid gold, and last week a woman and her daughter came in our store, and she had the mother had like a really heavy chain on, and I noticed this hanging from her chain, and I was like, what's that around your neck? Because this is a really big ring. And she took it off, and she's like, how much would you give me for it? And I was kind of surprised that she wanted to sell it, and made her an offer, and she's like, yeah, sure. So yeah, this is kind of a unique ring. She said it was custom made for her. I don't know what the story is behind it. Looks like some sort of like chic or Arab or something. I don't know, but yeah, you can see like the head wrap with the ruby, obviously. Big diamond eyes, but yeah, big heavy duty, solid piece. And this is an example of something that we'll keep and, you know, resell as an estate piece. So something pretty cool. Maybe I'll start wearing it. I have a lot of things clumped together here that I'm trying to avoid making a mess. Let's just look at this instead. So here is another men's ring, and this looks like a garnet in the center. And this is another example of just how older rings, this might be from like the 50s, they're just built differently than nowadays. Like very solid. Get it in focus here. I want you to see the inside of this ring. So nice solid back, not thin and lightweight. There we go. But yeah, nice and solid. Some damage to the gemstone, which is completely normal, especially with a garnet. But yeah, this will get cut apart and sent to the refinery, just because, a lot of damage to the stone there. You can see the abrasions. But yeah, off to the refinery. Alright, so this looks like this is for an elk lodge. This is an elk tooth. And if you watch my channel, you've probably seen some short videos that I've made of some elk tooth pieces. Just finished one, I think last week I posted a video about it, but yeah, this one's a little bit unique. Has the elk head there, maybe with rubies for the eyes, and then some sort of symbol at the top. I'm not too familiar with the elk lodge. And then let's see what's on the back. Looks like HEA. Those are definitely hand engraved initials there. Also stamped 10 karat gold. So this top portion could be removed and sent off to a refinery. But yeah, it's kind of a cool piece, something unique. Alright, so these next things I'm going to show you, I have seen them before. I've never shown them on this channel. Kind of weird. I will give you a heads up. I'll show them to you first. And we have to get in focus first. There we go. So I'm going to let you look at these for a little bit. And if you can guess what these are, I'll tell you first, they're earrings. But if you can tell me what this material is, drop a comment down below. Part of me wants to not even tell you, to see if someone truly answers correctly without me giving you the answer. But I want to make this as informative as possible. So these are actually made out of human hair. And you can tell that. See if I can get this in focus here at the bottom. See that fraying? It's kind of coming undone. I've seen other pieces like this with hair like braided and in a glass pendant. But yeah, this is kind of unique. I don't know how on earth, like you can see it's kind of squishy. I don't know how they would make these shapes, but these are very old, over 100 years old I'd say. But yeah, very unique. Just something that we're hanging on to just because it's really cool. But, you know, maybe it's like, it might be hair that belonged to someone, like a loved one, and they wear it as, I think it's called like mourning jewelry, is the term I've heard before whenever I've seen other hair pieces. But yeah, if you guessed right, you know your stuff. Got quite a few rings in this collection here. So let's get this in focus. There we are. All right, so here's a prime example. I do not know the backstory of this ring, but looks like some stones are missing, and these prongs look pulled back. So whenever they drop this off, well, actually looking at it from this angle, these might have just fell out. Yeah, because there's still one of the diamonds here. But yeah, this is just an example of overworn ring. You know, there's just a lot of wear and tear. But I'm actually kind of surprised of how well these emeralds held up. They're very low quality emeralds, but you can see these prongs are pretty much shot. But yeah, this will just get torn apart and sent to the refinery. Oh yeah, guys, so like, I don't know what, like, I kind of want to make this a series because I'll be able to make these videos like at least weekly because I get a ton of scrap metal all the time. So I don't know what I'm gonna call it. As of right now, I think I'm just gonna call it like save or scrap or something. So if you have any cool, interesting ideas for what I can title this, let me know in the comments. And also another thing too, if you can like this video, it really helps out my channel and lets me know that you guys are watching my stuff and tells me, you know, that you like it. And if you don't like it, then don't like the video. But yeah, helps my channel out a lot. This is just a regular straight row classic diamond wedding band. I'm trying to get the hallmark in focus for you here. This camera likes to focus on my skin. 14 karat white gold. Something like this, yeah, you could resell it, but these prongs are kind of low. So what we'll do is we'll just cut it in half, bend it, all the stones will fall out, and we'll keep those for repairs, send the metal off to the refinery. Another thing you can let me know in the comments too is which piece is your favorite of these. So far, I think that watch was pretty neat. That picture we found, I actually just like changed the battery on my camera and I talked to my dad. He's the one that set up this box. I asked him if he knew about this picture and he had no idea. So you never know what you're gonna find. But moving on, this is a double halo engagement ring. This style would have been popular probably like 10 years ago. You still see these floating around occasionally, but kind of a dying style, especially after the advent of lab-grown diamonds. This might be able to be resellable. I'd have to check out these condition of the prongs under a microscope, but little peekaboo diamonds on the sides there too, it looks like, right there in the middle. But yeah, we might try to resell this one. Alright. Oh, this is kind of neat. So, this is a synthetic gemstone. It's supposed to look like an opal. It doesn't want to be in focus. But there's like things called doublets and triplets. See how there's, get it in focus. See how there's like slices? There's like a slice of material there in between, like the backside is black. That's so it shows color differently. And then there's like a little slice of opal looking material there and then like a little cap on it. So it looks like an actual opal, but this is just synthetic, you know, but pretty stone. But you see those every now and then. They do the same for other colored gemstones also. So that's why when we buy jewelry, we have to look at it from the side sometimes, because you don't want to think you're buying some like really fancy opal, but it's actually just one of those. This is just, looks like sterling silver scrap. Sterling silver, you need a whole lot of it to be worth much of anything. We just fill up a bucket and send it down every year or so. But yeah, you need pounds of it to be worth anything. This couple of things here, they're just wrapped together, so we'll do them all together as one. This is looks like a service member's pin, probably like United States Army, and just a random yellow gold chain. This style of chain, it's a certain type of rope chain. It's like really loosely woven. These are really notorious for getting caught on hair and sweaters and such, so I try not to carry this style, but they'll get sent away off to the furnace. These are just like crystal, just costume junk basically. No metal content here. This is just like pot metal basically, but we still hang on to it just because you never know when you'll need even one of these little pieces of plastic for, you know, just doing someone a favor type of thing. But yep, old costume jewelry there. Let's see. Okay, so this looks like it matches the opal pendant from earlier that I showed you. It had like an opal and blue stones. These look like synthetic sapphires, and probably looks like they're trying to be aquamarine or maybe diamonds. Through the camera they look kind of light blue, so yep, just another one of those. Probably sold them as like a set for birthstones. Oh, I'm looking in my box. I know what I'm going to save for last because I think it's probably one of the funniest things that I'll be able to show you today. This looks like another military pin. Not sure what, oh, looks like it might say something in the back here. Army, Navy. Let me see. I'm going to check it in my microscope real quick to see if I can read this. Army Navy Production Award, which I don't know what that means. I was going to guess the E. I was going to guess the E stood for like expert, like a marksman badge type of thing. But yeah, I don't know. Production Award, sterling. And I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps, but never saw a pin like this. Definitely older, probably like World War II era. Okay, we get asked about these because I think everyone in high school was, you know, they're, if I remember correctly, like they had like a little presentation of like selling class rings, and like I just mentioned, I was in the military. They did the same thing to us in boot camp, and I didn't get a boot camp ring, and I don't regret it. I don't think anyone still wears it really, but this is a high school class ring. It looks like Langley High. If you know where that is, let me know. But yeah, 1974, Langley High School. I'm not sure where that's from, but with class rings, they tend to be really heavy, and it's because you take these stones out and there's like a cement filler in the top, and that gives them that like really solid feel. So whenever we purchase these and weigh them out, we have to be careful to really accurately get their weight, because a lot of times they're just full of, like I said, like a rubber cement almost. But yeah, this one, lots of wear and tear on that synthetic stone, no value there. We just have to break that out and send it off to the refinery. And these class rings, we don't size them either, and the reason being is because of that rubber filler. It'll if you heat these up, it'll get all you know, melt and everything, so it's just a mess. This is kind of neat. This is just a sterling silver charm, but it is a Volkswagen Beetle, and it actually has, stay in focus, come on. It actually has actual working wheels. So a lot of times these older pieces like this just have more attention to detail. Doors don't open, but kind of neat if you are a Volkswagen Bug enthusiast. Alright guys, last but not least, I peeked at this one as we were getting close to the end, and I think it's kind of cool. So kind of looks just like a pendant, maybe a cat, but there's something about this where if you tilt it, the eyeballs come out. Just another one, kind of like that Volkswagen charm. It's just these older pieces, you never know what you're gonna find there. Just kind of like a hidden detail. I don't know, I think it's supposed to be a cat. I don't know, it's like some sort of monster or something. But yeah, just kind of like a cool little pendant. Alright you guys, so that's everything for today's video. At the pace that I take in scrap material, I think it'd be cool to do this, you know, every week or every few days or something. So we'll see how it goes. If you enjoyed this scrap or save concept, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. That's what helps my channel grow. We'll see you on the next one.